Close your eyes and let the world grow quiet. Let the neon lights fade, the phones go dark, the distant hum of traffic fall silent. Now imagine waking not to an alarm clock, but to the gentle creak of aged wood above your head. It is the year 1274, and you are a carpenter. Your bed is little more than a wooden frame stuffed with straw covered in coarse linen. You lay still for a moment, wrapped in a woolen blanket that smells faintly of smoke, earth, and time. The early morning mist rolls quietly beyond the shutters. A rooster calls not far away, not sharp or intrusive, but almost melodic. The hearth across the room glows with the last embers of last night's fire. A few sparks still twitch within the ash. Your wife moves near the fireplace. She says nothing, only crouches low and adds a few splinters of birch to the coals. A puff of smoke swirls up the chimney as flames slowly return. You sit up. Your spine protests slightly, the result of long hours bent over timber. But this pain is familiar, expected. You welcome it like an old friend. Outside, the sun hasn't yet broken the horizon. A grey-blue hue touches everything. The world feels paused. You stretch your arms, roll your neck, and reach for your tunic. It's folded neatly at the end of your cot. It's a simple thing, undyed linen, patched at the elbow, a little frayed at the hem. But it is yours. You pull it on, fasten a thick leather belt at the waist. Your hand naturally checks the pouch hanging from it, a few copper coins, your folding blade, and a worn wooden rosary. You stand. Bare feet press into the cool dirt floor. You cross the room to the wash basin, a simple clay bowl filled with yesterday's water. You splash your face. The cold stings. But it wakes you better than any modern caffeine could. You dry off with a rough cloth. It smells of lavender and ash. From the loft above, you hear a quiet shuffle, one of your children shifting in their sleep. The house is small, 2 rooms really, but it holds warmth, memory, work, and love. At the table, breakfast waits. A slice of dark rye bread from 2 nights ago, thick and chewy. A triangle of hard cheese, firm and salted. A small mug of ale, light, barely fermented, brewed by your neighbour's wife. You eat slowly in silence. The bread softens in your mouth, the cheese lingers sharp on your tongue. You stare at the candle stub in the centre of the table, melted nearly to nothing, and remember when it was new. You remember cold winter mornings, eating the same meal, wearing the same tunic next to the same hearth. But you also remember the spring festival last year when your daughter sang in the square and you carved wooden birds for the children. The light outside grows stronger. You hear carts rolling, hooves clopping over damp earth. Life is stirring. You rise. Your tools await. In the corner under a wool cloth rests your tool roll. You lift it slowly, almost reverently. Unroll it on the table. Your mallet, smooth elm, heavy in the hand. Chisels, small and large, their edges wrapped in cloth. Your measuring cord dyed with charcoal knots. A folding rule made of horn and brass. A new gimlet you purchased last winter, still sharp, still gleaming. Each tool bears the touch of your hand, the memory of a project, a season, a story. You check them by habit. It is a quiet ritual, not out of fear, but respect. From outside, a faint wind moves across the thatch roof. A raven calls from the trees nearby. Someone coughs. A door creaks. The village wakes. You roll up your tools. Tight. Secure. Sling them over your shoulder. They are heavier now than they were a decade ago. Or maybe you've changed. It doesn't matter. Your wife hands you a bundle of cloth. Inside, half a loaf of bread and a small apple. Lunch. You nod and smile. Her hand lingers on your wrist for a heartbeat. Then she returns to the fire. You open the wooden door and step out. Mist clings low over the earth. The path is still wet from the night. Your boots, thick leather, scuffed but strong, make soft sounds in the mud. Children giggle somewhere unseen. A dog barks once, then falls quiet. A man whistles, tuneless but content. You pass the well nod to a baker loading loaves into a wooden cart. He doesn't speak, but he raises 2 fingers in greeting. You return the gesture. The world is slow here, intentionally so. There is no urgency, no noise for noise's sake, just life, one moment folded into the next. At the edge of the village, just past a stone wall laced with ivy, sits your workshop. You built it yourself. Its frame is oak, the roof thatch and moss. Its door leans slightly to one side, but it holds. You like that about it. You unlatch the door. It groans open. Inside, the scent of wood, earth, sweat. Shavings from yesterday still coat the floor. A half-finished chair rests on your bench. The sun filters through a high cracked window, laying golden ribbons across your tools. You set your roll down, remove your cloak, hang it on the same wooden peg you've used every day for years. You pause. Take a deep breath. This space is yours. In here, time slows even more. There is no noise but the chirp of a sparrow nesting near the eaves. No sound but the shuffle of your boots across the floor. Soon you will work. You will shape, measure, smooth, carve. You will mend a broken table leg, sharpen your blade. But for now you stand in stillness. A beam of sunlight falls across the room and touches your workbench. You place one hand upon it. Its surface is scarred, scratched, nicked, but steady, like you. And as the world outside stirs into motion, you begin your day not rushed, not busy, but present, in rhythm with wood and breath and morning. Narrator softly. And so begins another quiet day in the life of a medieval carpenter. One of countless days, and yet never quite the same. Midday, working in the workshop. The workshop smells like sawdust and smoke. The door groans as you open it wider, allowing the pale morning light to spill inside. Dust motes swirl in golden shafts. You pause, letting your eyes adjust. Then slowly you step in. This space is sacred, not in the way of cathedrals or cloisters, but in the honest, earthy way that hands sanctify wood. Every corner here tells a story. The gouged bench where you first cracked a beam, the wooden peg in the wall where your father once hung his apron, the floor stained with oil from a spilled lamp years ago. You roll out your tools across the broad table, saw, chisel, mallet, folding rule. The ritual is the same each day, but never stale, never rushed. Today your work is simple but steady. You must finish the set of dining chairs promised to the miller. He paid you half in grain, half in coin. His wife will expect them before the Sunday feast. You run your hands across the curved back of a half-finished chair, ash wood, seasoned for over a year. It hums under your fingers like something alive. You begin, first measuring. You stretch the cord along the length of a new timber. You mark it with charcoal, careful and exact. You measure again. A good carpenter never assumes. Then the saw. You set your body into the stance, grip firm. The teeth bite into wood with a slow rhythm, not rushed. One stroke forward, one back. The cadence is steady, like breath, like prayer. The sound fills the room, soft rasping, punctuated by silence. Wood curls fall to the ground like dry petals. As you work, the light shifts. From pale yellow to warm amber, shadows stretch across your bench. The scent of pine deepens. You pause to wipe your brow with a linen cloth. Then pick up the chisel. Its blade glints in the light. You press it gently into the grain, following the marks. Each motion is a whisper of movement, carving not just shape but meaning. There is no need for conversation, only the sound of tool meeting timber your breath and the occasional chirp of a sparrow nesting in the eaves. Hours pass this way. Measure, saw, carve, smooth. Each task leads into the next as naturally as one season folds into another. Midway through the morning, a knock on the frame of the open door. You look up. It's your apprentice, a boy of 14, red cheeks, nervous eyes. He carries a bundle of firewood and a small satchel. You nod him inside. He sets the wood near the hearth and watches as you shape the leg of a chair. Without words, you hand him the other piece. Show him the angle, the stroke. He nods, grips the chisel awkwardly, begins. You watch for a while, then return to your own work. Side by side, you labor. He slower. You steady, but both moving in rhythm. Soon the sun reaches its peak. The shadows inside the shop shrink. The heat presses against the walls. You set down your tools. From the corner you take your lunch satchel. A cloth bundle, bread, apple wedge of cheese. You offer half to the boy. He hesitates, then accepts. The two of you sit on a low stool near the window, eat in silence save for the crunch of crust and the occasional sip of ale. Outside the village is quiet. Most are resting. The baker has gone still. The fields lie golden and unmoving. You talk a little, not much. A few words about the timber from the east, the wedding at the church last Sunday, the goat that wandered too far up the hill. Then you stand, stretch your back, return to the bench. The afternoon passes like the morning, but slower, heavier. You glue the backrest into place, clamp it, check the angle, then set it aside. Your apprentice sands the legs of the second chair. His strokes uneven at first. You correct him gently, show him the grain, the pressure. He learns, not just from your words, but from your rhythm, your breath. Time stretches. You complete another chair. Wipe it down with a rag soaked in linseed oil. The scent rises warm, nutty old. By now the light outside has turned honeyed. You can hear the church bell faintly in the distance. One toll, then silence. You look at the chairs. 3 complete, 2 nearly done. 1 more to finish tomorrow. Good progress, honest work. Your apprentice gathers the shavings into a basket. You clean your tools with a cloth oil, the blades check the edges, then roll them up, the same way you have for years. You hang your apron. Pat the boy on the shoulder. He grins proud. The day is nearly done. But something remains. You walk to the edge of the shop, look out across the fields. The sun dips low. The air smells of cut grass and wood smoke. You feel tired, but content. Another day well spent. Another piece of yourself left in timber. And as you close the door, the light fades. Tomorrow you will return. Tomorrow the rhythm will begin again, and the wood will be waiting. Delivery and encounters. The workshop door creaks open. Your shadow stretches across the threshold, reaching out toward the golden light that floods the path ahead. You step outside. The warmth of the afternoon sun wraps around you like a familiar cloak. You pause, let your shoulders drop, let the weight of the morning's labor settle and soften. In your hands you carry a chair. Its legs still smell faintly of linseed oil, the joints recently glued, the wood still whispering of tree and time. You hold it with care, though your hands are strong. You know its weight exactly. You built it. A gentle breeze stirs the dust along the path as you begin walking. The village lies quiet in the early afternoon hush. Most homes are closed, their windows shaded, their hearths resting. It is the hour of stillness. As you pass the baker's cottage, you catch the faint scent of rye and clove. The ovens are cooling. Children's laughter echoes distantly from behind the barn. A rooster calls once, then is silent. You walk slowly. The chair presses lightly against your chest. Each step is steady. You are in no rush. Past the well, past the cobbler's stone stoop, past the little shrine carved into the wall where someone has left a single feather tucked beneath a stone. You nod to the blacksmith's apprentice, wiping soot from his brow. He nods back, eyes wide with a mixture of respect and curiosity. You were once his age, you remember. The miller's home stands near the river bend where willows droop low and the path turns soft with moss. His house is broader than most, its roof mended with slate. A wooden wheel turns lazily behind the barn. You lift the latch and knock. A woman answers the door, hair tied back with linen, eyes alert but kind. You bow slightly. She smiles, opens the door wider. You step inside, place the chair gently beside its waiting companions. 5 already sit arranged by the long table, now 6, a full set. The woman runs her hand along the carved backrest. She nods quietly, pleased. From the back room the miller appears. Round face, red nose, hands that never stop moving. He counts the chairs, counts again, laughs. "They're finer than I expected," he says. "Solid work. My guests will sit like kings." You smile softly. He presses 3 coins into your hand, then disappears into the back, returning with a cloth pouch. Grain, fresh milled, still warm from the stone. You nod in thanks. The wife offers you a cup of cider. You accept. You sit together for a moment on the steps, sipping in silence. The sun warms the flagstones beneath your feet. The cider tastes of apples and late summer. She asks about your work. You speak slowly, simply. No need for embellishment. Just wood, hands, time. When you stand to leave, she thanks you again. There is honesty in her tone. You walk back with one hand on the grain pouch slung over your shoulder, the other holding the empty cup. You leave it by the door of the cider press, as is custom. Now the street is livelier. Children run barefoot and loud. Chickens scatter. A cart rattles by, pulled by a thick white pony. The wheel squeaks, but the driver hums. You pause at the edge of the square. Here the world gathers. The tanner arguing about a stain that won't come out. The weaver mending a hem. The old widow selling onions from a basket. You greet them as you pass. Not formally, not loudly. Just nods. Soft words. Familiar. At the far side of the square you stop beneath the old linden tree. Its branches spread wide, full of green. Its trunk is carved with initials, heart symbols that no one remembers but no one removes. A boy offers you a plum. You take it. It is overripe. Sweet. Sticky. You wipe your hands on your tunic and smile. Someone calls your name. You turn. It's Thomas the wheelwright. He gestures you over a grin on his sunburned face. You've time for an ale? You nod. The tavern is dim and cool. Inside a few others gather. Familiar faces. Farmers, tradesmen, a soldier home on leave. The air smells of wood smoke, yeast and spilled drink. You sit by the window. A pewter mug is placed before you. The ale is dark, slightly bitter, slightly warm. You sip. You listen. Thomas tells of a cart that snapped mid-journey, of a fox seen near the chickens, of his daughter's upcoming wedding. You add a few words here and there. Smile when the others laugh. Lean back when the talk grows loud. The light outside turns amber. Long shadows cross the dirt floor. You finish your drink. Stand slowly. Goodbyes are soft. No one begs you to stay. No one asks why you leave. You nod. Tap the bar once with 2 fingers. Then step back into the light. Your path home leads you past the stream. You pause at the wooden footbridge, watch the water curl around stones. A heron lifts slowly from the shallows, wings wide, feet trailing. You breathe. The day is cooling. The wind carries the scent of clover and old bark. You pass the field where the sheep graze, past the hedgerow where blackberries begin to swell. The world is quiet again, but full. You see your cottage ahead. Smoke curls gently from the chimney. A lantern flickers near the door. The door creaks as you enter. Your wife looks up from the table. She smiles. The children crowd near. They ask about your day. You answer slowly. They do not mind. The grain is placed near the hearth. Tomorrow it will become bread. Tonight it is enough that it rests. You wash your hands in the basin. The water is cool. You dry them on the cloth by the door. Dinner is not yet ready, but the fire is lit, and your day is nearly done. You sit by the hearth, close your eyes, listen to the pop of the flame, the whisper of wind in the eaves. You built this home, each beam, each nail. You are not famous, not wealthy, but you are known, and your hands have shaped more than wood today. They have shaped trust, and use, and memory, and so you rest. The evening comes, and stillness returns. Tomorrow will be waiting, but tonight you sleep. Evening, returning home and resting. The sun dips low and the shadows grow long. You walk the winding path home, your feet light from habit, though the day has settled into your bones. The bridge creaks beneath your step. Below, the stream glides slowly its surface, turning gold in the evening light. The air is cooler now, carrying the scent of damp earth and distant wood smoke. In the distance, your cottage waits. The chimney curls with the first wisps of smoke. A single lantern hangs beside the door, already lit. Its glow flickers gently. The village is quieter now. Children have returned to their homes. Tools are put away, doors closed. The world exhales. You pause near the hedgerow. The blackberries are ripening. You pluck one, just press it to your tongue. It bursts sweet and tart and wild. You smile quietly. Your boots crunch against the gravel. The path curves beside the pasture where sheep gather in sleepy clusters. You nod to the shepherd's boy. He waves once, then returns to his whittling. When you reach the gate, the hinges sing, a sound you know by heart. Your hand rests on the wood of the door. You built this frame, this hinge, this home. Inside, warmth greets you. The hearth is alive again, orange and red, the flames dancing softly behind the iron grate. Your wife looks up from the table, her hands busy with thread and needle. She smiles, not surprised, just content. Your eldest is stoking the fire. The younger two sit on the floor arranging river stones by colour. The scent of stew hangs in the air, onions, leeks, and something hearty, perhaps rabbit or barley. It is good, it is familiar. You set down the pouch of grain by the wall. Tomorrow it will become bread. Tonight it rests just like you. You move to the basin and wash your hands. The water is cool, the basin cracked slightly near the rim. You dry your hands on the cloth that hangs from the peg. It is rough but clean. Then you sit. Just for a moment. Not from exhaustion, from gratitude. The fire crackles. The stew bubbles once. Outside, a breeze stirs the window shutter. It rattles but does not knock. Your wife pours you a cup of broth. You drink slowly. It is rich, comforting, the flavor of 1,000 evenings. Dinner is served on wooden bowls, a ladle for each, thick slices of bread torn by hand, salt passed in a small dish. You eat quietly, slowly. The children tell their small stories, a bird they saw, a stone they found. You listen, you nod, sometimes you smile. There is no rush, there is only now. After the meal, the children clear the bowls. You wipe the table. It bears the marks of years' ink stains, knife scores, wax strips. You know each one. You reach for your sharpening stone. Tonight you will hone your blade, the same blade you've used for decades. You sit by the hearth, draw the metal slowly, gently along the stone, back and forth. The sound is soft, steady. The children gather round, not to learn, just to watch. They find calm in the rhythm. So do you. When the edge is bright again, you oil it lightly. Wrap it in cloth. Place it back in the pouch. Then you mend your tunic. A seam has come loose at the shoulder. You thread the needle with practiced hands. Your wife watches, amused. "Still won't let me mend it?" she asks. You smile. "I made the tear. I'll make it right." The night deepens. The children yawn. You tell a story. Not a great tale, just a small one. Of when the river froze, or when you carved your first spoon. They listen, not for the plot, but for the comfort in your voice. They lean against each other, against your legs, eyes heavy. Your wife gathers them gently, leads them to their beds in the loft. Their footsteps creak against the wood. Then, silence. You bank the fire, add one last log. Outside, the wind picks up. The shutter groans, the lantern sways. You step outside for just a moment. The stars have returned, not all at once, but in clusters, gentle, quiet. You breathe deep. The world is cool and still. You step back inside, bar the door, remove your boots. You kneel at the foot of your bed. Your knees creak. Your back protests. Still you bow your head, not in prayer with words, but with presence, with thanks. You rise, pull back the blanket, straw beneath linen, wool atop. You lie down. The bed welcomes you like an old friend. Your wife joins soon after. Her hand finds yours beneath the blanket. Fingers twine, no words spoken, none needed. The fire dimly glows, the roof beams sigh, and you, craftsman of wood and time, close your eyes, not with regret, but with fullness, not with fear, but with peace. The day is done. Your work is done, and in the silence that follows, you sleep.